The year was 2137. Earth was calm. No wars. No big problems. People had flying cars. Robots worked in every home. Humans had built small cities on the moon and Mars. But one day, everything changed. It started with a strange signal from space. At first, people thought it was just noise. But then Earth's top scientists listened closely. It wasn't just sound, it was a message. A clear voice, soft, royal, not human. This is Queen Altheria of planet Zitharan. My daughter, Princess Elia, is now of age. She needs a husband. We want a human, one human boy. He will be welcomed into our royal family. He will become Prince of Zitharan. The whole world was shocked. An alien queen wanted her daughter to marry a human. News spread fast. People started asking questions. Why a human? Why now? Was this a trap? Was it real? Governments called emergency meetings. Scientists confirmed the message was not fake. The voice came from a real planet, Zitharan, more than 60 light years away. Soon, Queen Altheria sent another message. We come in peace. We respect human life. This union is for the future. We invite your sons, aged 16 to 20, to apply. Only one will be chosen. People across Earth went crazy. Millions of boys applied, from America, India, Japan, Africa, every country. Rich families used power to push their sons forward. Media made it a game show. Who will marry the alien? Princes? Was trending everywhere. But in a quiet town in New Mexico. One boy didn't apply. His name was Eli Thomas. He was 17 years old. He lived with his uncle and worked in a small robot repair shop. His parents had died when he was a child, lost. During a space mining accident. Eli was quiet. He didn't have many friends. He liked reading old books and watching stars at night. He had no idea his life was about to change. One afternoon, while Eli was cleaning parts in the shop, a strange drone flew down from the sky. It was small, silver, and shaped like a star. It hovered in front of him. A soft light came from the center. Then a voice spoke. Eli Thomas, you have been selected by Princess Elia. Please prepare to leave Earth tomorrow. This is not a request. Eli stepped back, confused. Wait, what? I never applied. The drone replied calmly, you were chosen. Your DNA matches. Your heart is strong. The princess saw your record and made her choice. Then the drone vanished, leaving behind a small glowing badge. It had a royal seal on it, the mark of Zitharan. That night, Eli sat outside, looking up at the stars. He felt lost. Why me? I'm not rich. I'm not brave. I'm just nobody. But deep inside, something whispered, maybe he wasn't a nobody. Maybe he was meant for something more. Far away, on Zitharan, Princess Elia stood by her own window, looking toward Earth. She touched the screen and stared at Eli's image. You are not like the others, she whispered. And that is why I chose you. Next morning, a sleek silver ship landed near Eli's house. No wheels, no sound. Just pure light. 2 alien guards stood outside. Their armor glowed blue. One of them handed Eli a message scroll. Your journey begins now. Prepare for truth, danger, and destiny. Eli looked at his uncle, who was too shocked to speak. He took one last look at Earth. And then, he stepped inside the ship. The door closed. The engines glowed. And within seconds, the ship vanished into the stars, carrying a human boy toward a new world. And a future no one could predict. Narration ending. Hook for next episode. Why did the alien princess really choose Eli? What secret lies behind the royal invitation? And what is waiting for him on planet Zitharan? Find out in Part 2, Arrival. On the alien world. The stars looked different from the window. Brighter, bigger. Almost like they were watching him. Eli sat alone in the corner of the silent ship. There were no buttons, number pilots, no screens, just a soft white floor, and walls that changed colors like a heartbeat. He had no idea how the ship worked or where it was taking him, but it was fast. Very fast. Earth was gone behind him. And ahead was something he couldn't even imagine. He had been flying for hours, maybe days. Time didn't feel real anymore. Suddenly, a soft voice echoed through the ship. It wasn't human. "Welcome, Eli Thomas. Your destination, planet Zithron. Estimated arrival, 5 minutes. Please remain calm." The lights turned blue. Outside the window, something massive appeared. A planet. But not like Earth. Zithron glowed purple and silver, surrounded by floating rings of crystal. Giant towers hovered in the sky. Rivers of light ran between the clouds. It didn't look like a world. It looked like a dream. The ship landed on a glass platform floating high above the clouds. No sound, no impact. Eli stood up slowly. The door opened by itself. Cool air touched his face, sweet, clean, and strange. Waiting for him were 2 alien guards and a tall woman with silver blue skin. She wore a long robe and had white glowing eyes. "I am Lady Virex," she said softly. "You are now on royal land. Follow." Eli walked behind her through glowing hallways. He passed statues made of light, waterfalls that flowed upside down, and ceilings that showed real stars. He felt like he had walked into another world's heaven, but something felt off. The guards were quiet. Too quiet, and they kept glancing at him like he was more than just a guest. Finally, they reached a wide chamber with 6 other human boys already standing in a circle. All of them were wearing polished suits. Some were smiling. Others looked scared. They stared at Eli. One boy laughed. "That's the last one. He looks like a farm boy." Eli didn't respond. He wasn't here to impress anyone. Lady Virex spoke. "You 7 are the chosen candidates. One of you will marry Princess Elia. The selection begins now." Just then, a soft hum filled the room. A large screen lit up. And there she was, Princess Elia. She stood tall, wearing a glowing royal robe. Her long violet hair floated like it was alive. Her eyes were bright silver. She looked at each boy one by one, but her eyes paused when they landed on Eli. And for the first time, she smiled, but her voice, when she spoke, was serious. "This test is not about beauty or strength. It is about truth. I will not choose a prince. I will choose a partner." Eli felt something shift inside him. This wasn't a game. This was real. But what kind of test was coming? And what did this alien princess really want? The palace was beautiful, but beauty can hide many things. Secrets, lies, even fear. Eli had been on Zithron for 3 days now. He had passed 2 tests. One was a puzzle that tested memory. The other was a strange emotion scan machine. The others bragged, laughed, argued, but Eli stayed quiet. He observed. Something felt wrong. The guards were everywhere, yet no one talked to them. The princess smiled on the screens, but never met the boys in person again. And at night, Eli heard soft humming in the walls, like whispers hiding in the silence. One morning, while walking through a glass hallway, Eli noticed a small door slightly open. A door not meant for him. It had no name, no lights, just shadows. He looked around. No cameras, no guards. His heart told him, "Don't go in." But his curiosity whispered, "What if this is what they're hiding?" He stepped inside. The room was dark, cold. Humming machines glowed softly in the corners. Floating screens showed strands, charts, images of cells, not Zitherian cells. Human ones. And then he saw something that made his hands shake. A photo of him, Eli's face, his birth date, his blood type, his DNA record. Labeled, Candidate 17, genetically compatible. Match, Princess Elia. He stepped back. Behind him, a soft voice spoke. It was Elia. "You weren't supposed to see this." Eli turned, his face pale. "What is this place? What does compatible mean? Why me? Elia didn't answer right away. She walked to one of the glowing screens and tapped it. A hologram of Queen Altheria appeared. It was a private recording, a confession. Our royal line is dying, our daughters are born weak. Our genetic code is breaking. Only a human spark can fix it. A child born from both worlds can save Zitharan. Eli stood in silence. Elia finally spoke. This isn't just a marriage test, Eli. It's a mission. And you were never a random choice. You were tracked. From Earth, from the day you were born. Eli's voice trembled. So I was brought here, not because of who I am, but because of what's inside me. Elia nodded slowly. I didn't know the full truth until yesterday. That's why I brought you here. You deserve to know. Eli sat on the cold floor, his head spinning. His whole life, he thought he was ordinary. Now he was being told his blood, his DNA, might be the key to saving an alien world. You don't have to choose this, Elia whispered. But if you do, they'll never let you go back. Asterisk, not all prisons have bars. Some are made of light luxury. And lies. Eli didn't sleep that night. The lab, the DNA files, the Queen's secret plan. It was all real. He sat on the edge of his royal guest bed, staring at the wall. The stars outside looked calm. But inside the palace, something dark was growing. They said this was a love story, but now it felt like a trap. A soft knock broke the silence. It was a pattern. A secret rhythm. Tap. Pause. Tap tap. Tap. Eli opened the door. Princess Elia stood there, wearing a dark travel cloak. No crown, no guards, only fear in her eyes. Eli, she said quietly, they know you went into the lab. He froze. How? Security sensors. My mother will confront you by morning. And if you ask too many questions, they'll erase your memory, send you back to Earth like nothing happened. Eli's fists clenched. I'm not a tool. I'm not a science project. Elia looked at him, her voice shaking. Then we run, now. They moved fast through silent corridors. Elia led him into a back hall behind the royal kitchen, where a panel opened with her voice. Authorization. Elia, daughter of Zitharan. A door slid open, revealing a narrow tunnel with glowing vines and steam rising from the floor. This is an old escape route. No one uses it anymore. Eli hesitated. You're a princess. Why risk everything for me? Elia paused. Because, for the first time, someone saw me as more than just a future queen. You saw me. They ran through the tunnels, breathless, quiet. The halls twisted downward, deeper into the planet's ancient roots. Strange machines lined the walls. Symbols from old times glowed in soft red. Finally, they reached a frozen chamber. At the center, a massive door, half covered in ice, marked Forbiddens in ancient Zitherian script. What is this place? Eli asked. Elia walked to a console and inserted a glowing crystal. The ice melted. The door opened slowly, revealing the oldest secret of all. Inside was another lab, older, hidden, and untouched. And in the center, a stasis pod holding a hybrid child. Eli stepped back in shock. That's human? Elia nodded. The first experiment, it didn't survive. That's why they made new plans, with you. A nearby screen activated. The Queen's voice played again. If the human refuses the bond, extract what we need, return his body, erase the memory of Earth's people, the mission must continue. Eli stared at the screen. So if I say no, I don't leave. Elia looked away. That's why I'm helping you now. Narration, ending hook. They thought they could control the future. But Eli now holds the truth, and a choice. Run, fight, or become what? They planned all along. The palace is no longer safe. Don't miss part 5, Betrayal and Truth. The truth can save you, but sometimes it can also destroy everything. They didn't make it far, just one hallway from the exit. The trap was already set. Lights turned red. Metal walls closed in behind them. Guards dropped from the ceiling. Silent and fast. Their armor was black, marked with the royal seal. Eli grabbed Eliah's hand, but it was too late. "Do not resist," said a cold voice. "You are under palace control." Eliah stepped in front of Eli. "He's with me." I gave him clearance, but the guards didn't care. They surrounded them and raised their weapons. Then she walked in, Queen Altheria, regal, calm, deadly. "My daughter," she said softly. "I warned you not to get too close." Eliah's voice shook. "You lied to him. You used him." The queen walked slowly toward Eli, eyes like ice. "I did what was necessary. For Zithron, for our future." She turned to the guards. "Take the boy to the memory lab. Prepare extraction." Eli froze. "You said I had a choice." "You had one," she replied, "before you discovered the truth." Suddenly, one of the guards hesitated. He looked at Eliah, then at Eli. And then he did something no one expected. He dropped his weapon. "Enough. He's not a prisoner. He's a guest." The other guards hesitated. Queen Altheria narrowed her eyes. "Treason." She raised her hand to give the final order, but Eliah stepped forward. Loud. "Brave. If you take him, you'll lose me." The room went silent. Eli looked at her, confused. "What are you doing?" Eliah's voice trembled. "Making my choice. Not as a princess, but as someone who believes you're more than just DNA." The queen's hand dropped. "So be it." She walked away without another word. The guards backed off. But everyone knew this wasn't over. Later, in a private chamber, Eli sat with Eliah. The danger was not gone. But for now, they were safe. "I don't know what to do," Eli whispered. "I don't want to be a savior. I just want the truth." Eliah placed the glowing crystal on the table. "Then it's time you hear everything. Asterisk. Every world has a turning point." This was his. Eli stood alone on the royal balcony, staring at the stars. They didn't look magical tonight. They looked heavy, like they were waiting for him to decide the future. Behind him, the doors opened. Princess Eliah walked in slowly. "The council is waiting," she said quietly. "They need your answer." Eli didn't move. "Why me, Eliah? Why not one of the others? Why not someone ready for this?" Eliah stood beside him, her voice soft but sure. "Because you're not ready, and that makes you honest. You ask questions. You feel things. You saw the truth, and didn't run." Inside the great hall, the queen, her council, and dozens of Zetherian leaders sat in silence. Eli entered. The floor lit up beneath his feet. The queen stood. "You've seen the truth, Eli Thomas. You know our bloodline is dying. You know what your union with my daughter means. We offer you power, legacy, and a place in the stars. But if you refuse, Earth will not be safe. We cannot allow our secrets to return there." Eli looked around. So many eyes. So much pressure. He turned to Eliah. "Do you want this? Or are you just doing what your people expect?" She took a deep breath. "I want peace, but I won't force you. You must choose for yourself." Eli closed his eyes. He thought about Earth. His small room, his uncle's quiet life, the books, the stars. And then he thought about her. About this planet. This moment, the weight of two worlds resting on his shoulders. He opened his eyes. "I'll do it." Gasps filled the chamber. "But not for power. Not for legacy. And not because I have to." He turned to Eliah. "I'll stay for you." The queen nodded slowly. For the first time she smiled, not as a ruler, but as a mother. "Then it is done." But far in the shadows, someone watched and whispered, "The real test hasn't begun yet." The stars didn't change, but something in Eli did. The palace bells rang. Not for war, not for warning, but for something Zithran hadn't heard in 500 years. A royal bond ceremony. The first human was about to become a prince. Eli stood in front of a mirror. His robe was made of silver silk. A royal crest glowed on his chest. Alien lights moved around him like fireflies. He didn't feel like a prince. He still felt like a boy from Earth. But now, he was something more. Someone who had made a choice not for himself, but for a world that once tried to use him, and a girl who dared to question everything. Outside, a sea of aliens gathered. Crowds floated on sky platforms, watching the ceremony from every corner of the city. Ships hovered above, flashing messages of peace. And in the sky, Earth's flag and Zithran's crest floated side by side. Elia entered the grand hall, walking slowly. Her dress shimmered like starlight. She smiled at Eli, not as a princess, but as a partner. "Are you ready?" she asked softly. Eli nodded. "As ready as I'll ever be." The queen stood before them. "Today we begin a new chapter. Not ruled by fear, but by choice. Not bound by blood, but by bond." The crowd cheered. But in the shadows, someone moved. A masked figure raised a weapon, one last attempt to stop the union. A laser charged. Eli turned instinctively, shielding Elia with his body. But before the shot fired, the rogue was stopped by one of the queen's own guards, the same one who had once dropped his weapon for Eli. Peace was protected. Later, after the vows were spoken, Eli and Elia stood on the highest balcony. Below them, the people of Zithran celebrated. Above them, Earth sent its first official message. To Prince Eli and Princess Elia, Earth recognizes this union. May it bring peace between worlds. Eli smiled. Not because he had power, not because he wore a crown, but because he had found something greater than both. A purpose, a partner, a place in the stars.